Hello, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be reviewing one of my subs games, and he said the first 10 minutes of this game are what he wants to hear about. So, let's look it up. So he's playing Rengar into Rek'sai, and for laners, top lane is kinda like useless for him, but bot lane looks like a lane that he has to play for. Could play mid as well, because taunt against these Invis champs like Akali is pretty good. It's pretty much the best thing that can happen. The only way his mid lane pick could be better for him is like Galio, I suppose. But I mean, after it scales a bit, then the Shen Shield is very valuable anyway, and they can jump in together, so a valuable pick for him. For some reason, he didn't do the blast cone trick thing that Rengar players always do. Maybe they don't do it anymore though. Not sure. So we start like this. We do start top side, which is good. I mean, starting bot side would just be grief, I think. Unless you're looking to, I don't know, split the map somehow. Though I suppose what you could do here is invade enemy bot side level 1, and you do have Kalista, Rengar, Thresh, so I think that you would win against Rek'Sai, Draven, and Soraka, since Draven isn't very strong level 1 until he gets 2 axes, because Draven with 1 axe is like whatever, it's like really whatever, and Kalista is really strong because of her E. Rengar is, I also think, better than Rek'Sai, I think. Low 1, it should be. And though he does have first track and Rek'Sai has Conqueror, so maybe not with those keystones, but should at least be like fine. And I think Thresh is just better than Soraka. I don't think there's any talking about that one. So the enemy jungler transition ganks through mid, which is a bit Monka-esque. Wait. I mean, situations like these, you usually want to transition gank yourself as well. Because, I mean, even if you don't transition gank, you don't really want to walk here. Like, it doesn't cost you much for you to pull the camp to this side and walk like this. Because if you walk like this, then you're protecting your mid laner at the same time as you are getting to your next camp. And I mean, you can just use this blast cone to get over to this camp anyway. I mean, you'll lose like a few seconds, but like right now, he would be like here, right? And this is like a pretty good cover, you know? And like, if you really need to, maybe you can like help him shove the wave, or you can just like hover him for a few extra seconds. But if you're already here, then like walking mid now feels horrible, right? While if you're here, then like staying here doesn't really feel so bad, because you just walk here and you take the blast cone and you blast cone over. Because for example, this, like, he would be close enough to actually try to counter this, and maybe this game it doesn't work out for him, right? This looks a bit cursed, what I just witnessed, but in a lot of games it can. Maybe even this game it could, but who knows. He decides to keep clearing. That's fine. I think being too focused on efficiency isn't good, and a lot of junglers have this issue where, especially on champs like Evelynn, they end up really focused on efficiency, and then they're not really thinking like, okay, well, what do my laners want? What does the enemy jungler want? Like how does the enemy jungler see the game? Because like if I'm Rek'Sai, right, I'm doing 3 camps. Like, am I going to do anything here? Well, no. So why am I even pathing top side, right? Like, not like, am I ganking bot when that was happening? Wait. Like, am I ganking bot? Well, these two can just chill and do nothing, and it doesn't really matter for them. Like, the only one that's really vulnerable is Shen, right? And Shen is actually doing, let's say, okay on trades, somewhat. And if we, like, peel this guy a little bit, I am quite sure that he lives. Should be a pretty good benefit for us. We do these camps, but then the question now is like, what do we do? Because enemy team knows we cleared top to bot, I think, because we got a leash, right? Wait, did we get a leash? Wait. Yeah, we got a leash. So they know we cleared top to bot, and the mid laner is in no danger of getting ganked. So literally the only thing we can gank is bot lane. So if the enemy bot lane is human, they just don't walk up. They just chill. They don't even need to do anything right now. Somehow this works out, apparently. Wait. Glyss doesn't have summons, does she? No. Oh. I mean, this is just misplayed by the Draven. That guy can kill at least one person here. He has presence of mind. Wait. Trying to figure out how many he can kill. I know it's one at least. You don't want to kite like this, but I mean, it's fine. This is just bad. So he lost an axe for no reason, and he's walking into Glacial. Like, this guy could easily have his axes be here. Thresh has 0 spells, and what's Rengar gonna do? Yeah, like, he can easily stick to this. He can kill Rengar, and then if he does it properly, then he can also kill Kalista. So I think he can kill 2 here. If he plays it perfect. And then after he kills those 2, I mean, he can try to run down Thresh as well. So honestly, I think Draven can triple kill here. Because of the way this is played. This is a very, very coin flip thing that I just witnessed. Because, like, best case scenario, Draven should get... I mean, best case for this team, Draven should get 1 kill. While if Draven actually plays it perfect, with the way that this was played, I'm pretty sure he can triple kill. Like, if I was Draven, I would try to triple kill at least. I don't give a fuck. Worst case for me, I'm gonna kill 2. I come back to lane after killing 2 people, by the way, as Draven. This is never worth it. Because, like, look, he has 1100 gold. After killing 2 people, I come back to lane. I come back with a, I don't know, like, depends what build you go, I suppose, but you can just come back to lane with Dirk and 10 longswords, and you just hit the enemy Kalista once and you do 200 damage. She hits you once and she does 80 damage. That's balanced. Now we're clearing again. I mean, we did get a kill, so it's not a horrible state for us to be in the game. And there wasn't really anything to gank right now, like in mid or bot, so not that much to say about this. I mean, Dragon's a bit ill because the problem is, like, this lane will have prio for the next, like, 30 seconds minimum. This lane does technically have prio, but the problem is that, like, when the wave is like this, right, your laner gets to move for around 30 seconds for free because he won't lose anything during the time that he's moving, right? So, for example, this Draven can just, like, roam to Narnia if he wants right now, and he will lose literally nothing. It costs him 0. And the Shen can also do the same thing. Like, he can roam to Narnia, and it costs him 0. But the problem is, with the way that these lanes are, right, it's easier for Draven to get back to bot lane through, like, this formation of terrain than it is for Shen to get back to mid lane tower, like, through this formation of terrain, right? If he can walk straight through river, that's, like, fine, right? But if he walks straight through river, Akali can just walk through river as well. She can, like, sacrifice, I don't know, 2 minions if it's needed, and it doesn't really matter for her. Because Shen is gonna get so chunked that she can dive him after that. Because you have to keep in mind that this is pretty late for a solo laner to get level 6 anyway. It's 6 minutes, right? So you can see Akali is pretty much 6, but usually they get level 6 on the 530 cannon wave. I'm not sure why Akali has less XP because I didn't pay attention much to mid lane, but these guys are gonna get level 6 really soon, and if Shen has no HP under tower at level 6 against this champ, I think he just gets dove. And also, if she kills this one minion, she gets 6, and then she can just fight here, and she can fist fight everyone to death anyway. So this play just sucks no matter how you look at it. If you look at it positionally, if you look at it from, like, a conceptual standpoint, if you look at it as what will happen after the play, whether it succeeds or fails. If you look at it from a champion strength standpoint, no matter what, if you look at this play, it's just pretty bad. Honestly, though, I will say that I think with the way that the lanes are going, there isn't like that much to do anyway. It's a very obvious game where both junglers should play, and enemy jungler is a 57% win rate champion, which is very balanced. For some reason, Rek'sai just has a 57 win rate dispatch in every elo and every server. That's pretty chill. And Rek'sai is also like, I think, one of the most disgusting champs to play against when you have losing lanes or no lanes to play for, right? If it's very obvious where Rek'Sai needs to play and where the enemy jungler needs to play, that champ is like really disgusting because it shows you without like having vision ever. So it just sits there, does nothing, and just shows you for 0. But yeah, I mean, going for top play is not too bad of an idea, honestly. And trying to get your top laner ahead now can be a pretty good plan B. Firstly, because then you have mixed damage in the form of Rengar, Gwen, and secondly, because Gwen is like the only champion that can deal with this now, kinda. Because this guy's like fed as fuck now, but Gwen, as a conceptual champion, just hard counters ADCs. So we do this, fair enough. And somehow our bot lane is surviving against 20 kills Draven, which is pretty cool. Oh. But this is pretty bad. Like, you don't really want to be farming here because you did 1 quadrant, right? And after you did this quadrant, you still have ult. So when you have ult, you want to use it on like almost every champ, right? Like, you want to at least look for a way to use it. But like, when these two are doing this should just be like a hold, right? So at the moment we should be thinking that we want to go bot, but then they actually don't hold it, which is okay, I guess. But you have to keep in mind. Wait. You have to keep in mind that Rek'Sai ganked here, and she has like every camp up, right? And we know that she walked like this way back, and she's probably just clearing up, right? Because at some point people want to clear. So if we know that she's clearing right now, and we know there's like if she was going to gank, she would have already ganked here anyway, right? The Rek'Sai. So she must be like somewhere topside. So looking for a bot lane play would be very nice for us, because then we can herald the lane and we get these fuckers out of lane. And or well, we don't need to get our bot lane out of lane necessarily. But it's very nice if you just give them gold anyway. Though getting them out of lane would be pretty fine, because then you put them in mid lane, and it's kind of just like, in mid lane, not that much is gonna happen. And if Draven stays bot lane, then he's going to be matching bot lane against one of the side laners, which is going to be a bit difficult for him to play, likely. And there's just gonna be a stone wall in every lane, kinda, I think. I mean, you can also clear, I suppose, and wait and then hope it's gankable at that point. But the problem is, like, this is a bit super telegraphed, right? Because we did Herald, and then we cleared all of our camps, and then we want to gank. But the problem is also that, like, first of all, it's really obvious to the enemy, right? It's telegraphed. But the other issue with this is that if you do it this way, right? You do all of your camps first, and then you look for a gank. Then you did all of your camps, your plan B is completely gone, and now you need to gank no matter what, right? Because when we did these camps, we can just look for a gank, right? And we can just like walk there, and if it doesn't work out, okay, plan B, do our camps, whatever. We still have like something to do, and we're doing something the whole time, right? And then while we're doing our camps, we still are able to stop doing our camps and like look for it, right? At some point, like if they overstep or something, we can just like stop our blue buff and ult, right? But once we've done all of our camps, it's just like, well, okay, now we're just waiting. Just have to wait. That's how I see it anyway. think it's just kind of hard to get stuff off this game. So I think if you ever do have a chance, then it's pretty good. But I mean, with the way that the bot lane fought, you probably don't even get it off, which is the sad thing. Because they for some reason walked up to a bouncing wave for no reason. But I'm quite sure that they wouldn't really do that. If we spam ping 20 times, we come bot with ult. But now, I mean, the game is still okay, I guess. It's not horrible. Not horrifyingly bad. The really good thing is that we got Herald, and because of that, they don't get to instantly end laning in bot lane. Because the moment when Draven exits out of lane, he will just like take over the map, right? He will be way too strong to deal with. But now after this play, I think the game is just over, because now Draven is 5-0. He will take this tower for... Oh wait, maybe Gwen gets it? Oh. Okay, no, it's over. If Gwen got the shutdown, maybe, I don't know. But I think it's assumed now. Wait. And the only good thing you have is that this tower is up, but they took it, so nothing good anymore. They take this dragon as well. This guy has 2 items. He just goes mid, takes over the map, and you lose the game. So yeah, we had like a few things we could have done differently perhaps, and a few things we could have looked for. Definitely though, I will say that this draft is not favored for this team in terms of jungle impact, because as a jungler you don't have that much impact into champions like these, like Malphite, Rek'Sai, Kali, you know, like these champs don't give you that much impact. You do have pretty good setup, like Taunt and CC and Disengage ult, but at the same time, it's very difficult to do stuff because these champs. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, then like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Peace.